I'm Richie Suave Flores.
And I'm Cori Crenshaw.
And this is Sporty with Cori and Richie Suave.
The Diamondbacks are world champions.
Down is the motion man. Little flip to Fitzgerald. He scores! And the Cardinals win an amazing game.
McGregor with a chance. He walks in. He scores! McGregor for the second straight game is the hero.
Welcome back, Sporty Nation. It's so great to be with you today. And of course, I've got my wonderful co-host, Richie Suave Flores, as always. And we're so happy to be talking to you today on this lovely Sunday afternoon. You guys will probably be watching it on some lovely day throughout the week. But I'm very frustrated with the first topic this week. We'll be talking about the Diamondbacks. And then we will be talking about McGregor
and his pants.
And his pants.
And that mink coat of his.
Not in a weird way. Not in a weird way. But we'll be talking about him and his pants and Mayweather. And then we'll be talking about if we were stuck on a deserted island, what were the 3 albums we would listen to?
So we're basically going to play Oliver Queen. And we're going to be stuck on Leanne Yu. But instead of having nothing and just having an arrow, we're going to have 3 albums.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's minus the, killing the little bird in the cave and, having Shadow that he, fell in love with and all of these. It's not going to be like a little soap opera on an island. It's just going to be what we would listen to.
Yes, exactly. But we are frustrated with the Arizona Diamondbacks, Cori, because it's been a little bit of a rough patch. Like you said, we are taping on a Sunday, and the Diamondbacks are about to get swept by the Minnesota Twins on the road, who are basically a 500 team. They're not good. So as far as this team is concerned, it kind of feels like almost that we've hit rock bottom in terms of fandom. It can't really get much worse at this point.
I mean, last time I checked, they were losing 12-2 or something. It was obnoxious. I mean, this can't be happening. I think a lot of the problems are pitching. I wrote down notes, and it says in capital letters, pitching, pitching, and pitching. It's pretty terrible. Even you had looked up some horrible stats on it, and I'm just getting to the point where, everyone keeps on talking about offense, but unless we're not giving up, 10, 12 runs a game, how much offense can you really generate?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest problem with this team right now. They have a lot of holes from the catching position to the shortstop position with Nick Ahmed and Chris Owings out, but it's the bullpen to me. We talked about it in our very first show, which was right before the Dodgers and Diamondbacks series around July 4th, around your birthday, where the Diamondbacks were basically right behind the LA Dodgers in just about every category in the first half of the season, including bullpen ERA, where they were second in the National League. Fast forward to now, which is, the second half of August, and in the second half of this season, this is incredible to me. They are 14th in bullpen ERA in the National League. There is only one team that's having a worse bullpen in the second half, and that's the god-awful Philadelphia Phillies, who I believe their payroll is under $25 million. They're basically fielding a quadruple A team. And the Diamondbacks are 14th, over almost basically 5.5 ERA for this team in the second half. It's inexcusable for that to happen.
No, you're getting paid all this money, especially people like Greinke. Greinke's come in, and he's supposed to be the ace that's doing everything, and he's supposed to be the one that we can count on as fans to know, he's in. This is going to be a win for the team. As long as everyone else does their job, we keep the errors to a minimum and stop on the aggressive base running, because when the pitching isn't holding up, you can't be giving out easy outs that you are going to be out by a mile. Please don't try and run that. And it just, once you get to the point where someone that is your ace is not producing, and counting on Torey Lovullo, counting on him to pull out 7th innings and such, and he's not doing them, that's when it becomes a problem. You're getting paid millions of dollars.
$34 million to be exact.
Yeah, to do your job. Do your job. That is the point. You're playing the game that you love. Why not do it to the best of your ability? You're getting watched by tons of kids that want to be you one day. Show them how perseverance and how, dedication to your craft really can show that that hard work really does something.
Yeah, and I think we have found our title for this week's podcast. Do your job.
Do your job. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't even do my job. You see me stuttering there because I was so frustrated.
Yeah.
It's just rough. Like, as a fan and someone who grew up here in Arizona, it's so hard to watch. The team comes from a point where over this 20-year span, they won the World Series. 2011 was an amazing season. And outside of that, what else was there, really, And there's not much for the fans to grasp onto. And this was the first time that there was a new hope. Star Wars. Just want to drop that in there. There's a new hope for this team. And I just feel like it's coming crashing down. You're finally at the point where you're getting all of these fans to come watch games and support the team. And there's even like little fans that were wanting Goldie to sign a ball in Minnesota, and it was so good. The publicity for the team was at an all-time high, and you go and blow it like this. I just can't understand it.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think that's why people were so attached to this team in the first half of the season, because they were so hopeful. They were so fun to root for. We talked about it on this very show too, and to have it kind of unravel like it has, it's been tough to watch, and it kind of sucks. And going back to your point about Zach Greinke, I think that's the jumping off point for a lot of fans. I think that start that he had on Saturday, where he gave up those 5 runs in a shutout loss, that's the point where most people are going to be like, this isn't going to happen, because there's no excuse for your ace to step on the mound against a 500 ball club coming off of a loss where Zach Greinke has been close to perfect in terms of helping his team bounce back after a loss. That was tough to watch for me. And earlier this week on the Freaks, I mentioned this, which is I just flat out do not think this team is going to make the playoffs. And I know that sucks for a lot of fans to hear. They're still in it. As we tape today, they came into Sunday with 3.5 games up for that second wild card spot and a game behind Colorado. So they're still in the race, but it certainly doesn't feel like that, does it? It feels like it's not over by any stretch of the imagination, but it feels like we have hit rock bottom.
It feels as if they're a little league team, to be honest with you. When they're playing these really good teams like the Dodgers and the Cubs, like at certain points they were playing some of their best ball. It wasn't in all of the innings by any means. There were some very bad innings in there, but now that they're playing the Twins and they're going to be playing some more lower level teams, I'm just afraid that they're going to be like a little league team and play down to the level that the team that they're playing. In the first half of the season, they were just underneath the Dodgers in about everything, and the Dodgers have been perfect. We were at Dave & Buster's the other night, and we were the Dodgers won. Like, ho-hum, we've seen this before. It just, they're striving for perfection at one point, and now they're just striving to get by. I don't understand.
Yeah, look, the next week or so is going to be interesting for me, because I think this is a chance for them to bounce back. So they're going to play the Mets for 4 games, and then they're going to play the lowly Giants for 3 games before they come back home and play against the Dodgers. In those 7 games, if they can somehow find something working, and Robbie Ray is going to be back, by the way, which is absolutely huge for this team. He might be that kind of great hope to try and get this team to bounce back coming off of the concussion. But if they can take on these next 7 games against the Mets and Giants, and if they can go, 5-2, 4-3, so, just win both of those series, that goes a long way, because they haven't won a series in quite a while. They haven't won a series since that Chicago series at the beginning of August. So if they can just find that groove again, then maybe there's some hope, because in September you're going to be playing the National League West quite a bit. So that's really where you're going to make your hay. As long as they're in contention, and they still are, in the middle of September, anything can happen. We've seen big collapses before. We've seen big comebacks before. But I like I said, there's just too many holes for me on this team.
I agree, Richie. There's been a lot of holes on this team this year. But the place that there isn't a hole is in my heart, in Richie's heart, and in my corner, because you guys fill it. Thank you so much for all that you've done. If you could continue to share and like and comment, because you having the Sporting Nation as a part of our family here is great. We do all of this with our friends, and we do it with all of the love and passion that's in our hearts. We really just love sports, and we love talking to people who love sports and just interacting and being a part of everyone's lives in some way or another through our mutual appreciation for sports in general. So thank you for being part of Sporting Nation. Thank you for subscribing and just listening and watching us, because it means everything to us. And this show is our baby. So thank you for helping us babysit.
Cori, I'm going to absolutely echo what you said. That was very nice. So I want to thank you as well, Sporty Nation, for all your support. Make sure you do, if you've tossed around to your friends so they can watch us as well. Make sure they like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. All that good stuff. We do appreciate it. You guys are awesome, because we do love doing this show quite a bit. But Cori, it is now time to get into probably the biggest story of the week. And I'm just gonna let Connor speak here for himself.
Still got 100 million, and then he never touched it. That's to the tax man. You right. I'm the IRS, and I'm gonna tax your ass.
A lot of media seem to be saying I'm against black people. That's absolutely ridiculous. Do they not know I'm half black? Yeah! I'm half black from the belly button down.
Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather finally about to enter the ring and take each other on, coming up on Saturday the 26th in Las Vegas. You heard a couple bits from them there. If that doesn't get you pumped for this fight, I don't know what will. Both of us, I don't think we're the biggest, boxing fans in the world, but damn it, we're going to be freaking entertained when these two finally enter the ring.
Oh my gosh, McGregor entertains me like with whatever he does. He's the most entertaining person I think I have ever seen. Everything he does, and even in like that bit that you played there and everything, he's so funny, and you can't help but like have your jaw drop or start laughing. That outfit he wore in New York where he was like shirtless, which he's tatted all over the front of him. So it's not like he's not wearing a shirt anyways, basically, with all of his tats. And then with the fur coat and the multicolored pants, it was something out of a Macklemore video, and I absolutely loved it.
He is a freaking showman, if anything else. He's a fun fighter to watch, because I consider myself to be a fan of MMA and UFC, so I've seen Conor fight quite a bit. But he has done such a good job of selling this fight. It's unbelievable. He's so much fun. He has so much personality. He's also a brand new daddy. He just became a new father a couple months ago to beautiful little Connor Jr., who he had at his little sparring session the other day. But so I am 100% rooting for Conor McGregor in this fight, because he's so much fun. He's young, he's marketable, and of course Floyd Mayweather is just a piece of garbage. He beats women.
I have it written down here how many times he's 2002, 2005, 2010, and then officially convicted for the stuff in 2010 and 2011. And then he tried to do a defamation suit against the girl who charged him with domestic violence. So not only was he, charged for domestic violence multiple times, but then he tried to have a defamation suit. It's not like people didn't know that he beats all of his girlfriends and wives. Like, what defamation are you talking about?
Yeah, he's a horrible human being, and I don't really understand how anybody can root for this man. You know what I mean? Like, look, there's no doubt about it that he is a terrific fighter. He's 49-0 for a reason. He's one of the best to ever do it. But he's just completely unlikable. One of the most unlikable people in the history of sports, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, it's very easy to not like him as a person. He's rather a dick. And I mean, like, McGregor is cocky and annoying, but I genuinely feel like he does it for show. One of his sparring mates and one of his friends who happens to be black and had said how much he loves the man and how, like, racial equality and all of these things in this great post. And I have never seen anything come out about Mayweather saying anything remotely good or anyone saying remotely good about him other than the fact that he's, undefeated. No one's going to be able to beat him, blah, 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 blah. Just because you're undefeated and just because no one has been able to come close to beating you doesn't mean that you're a good person. It just means you're a good boxer. Being a good person and being a good boxer are two completely different things.
Yeah, nothing would make me happier than to see Conor McGregor walk into that ring on Saturday and lay Floyd Mayweather on the mat face down and knock his ass out. There's not a lot of people who think that's going to happen. Most of the money in this fight is Floyd Mayweather. He's the clear favorite and has been since this fight was announced. But it's still a fight, though, right? I mean, so the fact that it's a lot of people seem to think that it's going to be a wash and Conor McGregor is going to get smoked in this fight. I don't think that's 100% certain, because all Conor McGregor has to do is land one really great shot to the right spot of Floyd Mayweather's pretty boy face, and his ass is on the mat.
But no one actually thinks he's going to be able to lay down a punch, and that's the thing. Is that Max Kellerman was quoted saying that Mayweather will be doing all of the hitting, that there will be no hitting from McGregor. And that's the biggest problem that everyone has, is they think that Mayweather is absolutely untouchable. And with the money part, yes, Mayweather is still way above in the odds, but the NSAC allowed fighters a couple days ago in this particular fight to wear 8-ounce gloves when normally they wear 10-ounce gloves in a junior midweight fight, which is 147 and above. So, like, it actually moved some of the odds a little bit in the money around. William Hill US moved McGregor's odds to plus 425, which means you have to bet $100 to win 425 when it was originally plus 450 2 weeks ago, and moved Mayweather from negative 600 to negative 550. You would need to bet $550 for a $100 profit.
Yeah, I think it's gotten closer, because I remember when this fight was first announced, it was closer, 7 or 8 to 1 odds, for Conor, and it's come down quite a bit. But this whole glove idea, it's a little bit it's interesting to me, because Floyd Mayweather has fought his entire career with 8-ounce gloves.
And that's the weird thing, is that he's undefeated in 49 games with 8-ounce gloves. So the fact that this is making so many headlines and so many people are talking about it,
it's definitely a good thing for Conor, because he's not. He's used to fighting with the MMA gloves, which are only 4 ounces, right? Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's nothing new to Floyd at all. So.
That's what I mean. Like, it's not like it's going to throw him off in any way, and that's what everyone's been saying, that Mayweather's going to win this whole thing, because as long as he keeps doing what he's always done, nothing will change. And if he's wearing the same gloves he's always worn, then how is anything going to change? Yeah. But I really would like to see McGregor at least put up a really good fight for this.
I think he will. I think this is going to be one of those fights that's not going to be over in the first 4 rounds. I don't think Conor's going to knock him out by any means. I still think Floyd Mayweather is going to win the fight, just because he's the boxer. He plays that style, that defensive style that's really hard to beat, like you already talked about. But it's going to be at least fun. It's at least going to be, if anything else, the fight might be boring as fuck, but at least it's going to be everything surrounding it is going to be fun. Like, Justin Bieber is probably going to walk out with Floyd Mayweather again.
That already shows how he has bad taste in everything in general, if he's having Justin Bieber walk out. But I mean, the interesting question too that I wanted to pose about the whole thing, like $100 pay-per-view fight here, is, speaking of pay-per-view, there's a lot of footage of Mayweather and not as much you have MMA stuff, but no boxing of McGregor. Do you think that'll change anything?
No.
That there's no footage that Mayweather will have on McGregor?
Oh, well, he can just watch his MMA fights. and figure out how he fights. Simple as that.
I mean, I feel like it's completely different style.
Oh, it absolutely is, but I don't think Floyd's sitting there and watching tape like you would in any other sport. I don't think you really need to watch tape as far as a box is concerned. You just basically fight your own style, right?
I don't know about that. There's a lot of stylistic differences that help. I can't see not watching tape being like a thing that people generally do in boxing. I feel like it would be the same as everything else.
It could very well be. That's why I'm not a boxing fan at all. But okay, real quickly, just the fighter's name. Who do you think is going to win?
Oh, probably Mayweather, but I would prefer McGregor.
Me too. I think the same thing. And with that said, let's have some fun, Cori. Let's go to Leanne Yu, and let's pick our 3 albums we would listen to on a deserted island.
Yes, we are on a deserted island, and we can only choose 3 albums for the rest of our lives. We're sitting there with our volleyball named Wilson, and Wilson's hanging out and wants to listen to 3 albums. My album that I would like to start off with, I feel like is a little bit cheating. So I said the actual album it's from to not cheat as much too, but I would say Carrie Underwood's Greatest Hits, Decade Number 1. But then if I thought, Greatest Hits, kind of cheating. So I chose an actual album, which was her first one, Some Hearts, which of course has the Before He Cheats in it that everyone knows and loves. I mean, it's one of the only ones that anyone ever knows. Like, that's the one that my dad knows Carrie Underwood for. Part of it is, like, I think everyone thinks she just looks attractive in the music video. But I mean, life goals. Am I right?
Mike Fisher's wife.
Mm-hmm.
Now retired from the Nashville Predators.
Yes, and now he just can tour with his wife and his little son, and I mean, it's never probably a dull life when you have the gorgeous Carrie Underwood, who's touring around the world with her amazing music, and you get to be supportive of that. That can't be a boring life.
I will say this: I'm not a country fan by any means, and you know that very well, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I do like this song. It's good because it was in Pitch Perfect.
Ah, you do like Pitch Perfect.
Which is how I know this song is from Pitch Perfect, because Anna Kendrick is beautiful.
Well, I love Anna Kendrick too, but I mean, Carrie Underwood is just as gorgeous, so
Okay, so that's your number 3. No, I didn't actually. I'm cheating a little bit. I didn't actually rank mine, so I'm just gonna pick 3 of them and go in random order. So here is my first album that I have decided to pick. The first song on this album is Come Together from the Beatles and Abbey Road. The Beatles are one of my favorite bands, one of my dad's favorite bands. I grew up listening to them all the time when I was a kid. And to me, Abbey Road is one of those albums that's just like, no matter what mood you're in, you can throw on Abbey Road. And immediately,
Abbey Rude?
Abbey Rude.
Who's Abby and why is she rude?
I do not know. But you can throw on Abbey Road and you can feel good. It makes me feel good listening to songs like Come Together. Like Here Comes the Sun. It's just a great album from start to finish. One of my favorite underrated songs as well. It's called Maxwell's Silver Hammer, and it's probably one of the Beatles' most hilarious songs.
I actually do not know that one, and I know all the other ones that you've named. So
She Came In Through the Bathroom Window is on this album. Great album.
It's a classic. I have to agree with you. That one was a very good choice. On to my second one. It's kind of going with a similar theme. My number 2 would be kind of cheating a little bit as well, because it's 2 CDs in one. But I would choose Rolling Stones' 40 Licks. And, of course, we have Give Me Shelter playing because it's my favorite. There's that and Paint It Black and Under My Thumb. All I just love the Rolling Stones. You gotta love a a band that was decided their name after another rock song.
Which is? Do you know the answer? Because I didn't know this.
I think is it Bob Dylan, but it's
Like a Rolling Stone.
Like a Rolling Stone.
Yeah, there we go. Of
Yep.
course, I know that one. Absolutely.
And then they named themselves the Rolling Stones.
Exactly.
A little rock trivia there for you.
Exactly. There you go. So you can learn everything on this.
Just like Led Zeppelin. Do you know how they were named?
From the Zeppelin blimp?
It was like an old saying that like things would go over as well as a Led Zeppelin. They come up with a name and they go, oh, that'll go over as well as a Led Zeppelin, and they decided.
Oh, okay.
Led Zeppelin.
I didn't know that either. Kind of surprised I didn't know that, but I've never been personally that big of a Rolling Stones guy. They have some decent songs. I don't listen to them all that often. Again, my dad is a bigger fan of the Who than the Rolling Stones. They're both part of the British invasion. So I think you can, like, you're either a fan of either or, really, because they kind of came out at the same time.
I really like the Who. I did. This is not like a very good promotion for them. I did a health project on one of the guitarists from the Who because he died of a drug overdose, and we had to choose someone. And everyone, of course, chose Kurt Cobain. And I was like, "Ooh, I want the Who."
Okay, then.
What is your? Well, not your second one,
but yeah, my second. We'll go with my second album. So this, fun fact, was actually the first album I ever bought in my life. And anybody that knows me, that's friends with me, you know very well who my favorite band is. I've seen them multiple times in concert.
Oh yeah, no, I have seen them in concert with you.
Yes.
Multiple times.
Yes, and you know how excited I get to see Three Doors Down. And this album here is Away from the Sun, which was their second album. And it obviously has When I'm Gone. It has Here Without You on there. It's my favorite Three Doors Down album.
Yours here hitting us in the feels, huh, Richie?
Hands down. Yeah.
Hitting us in the field.
I would sing this song for you, but I don't want to bore people with my terrible karaoke.
Oh no, he sings in the car when we come back from San Diego Comic-Con.
Yes.
So we've heard his beautiful voice many a time.
So there you go. Away from the Sun is another album that I have on my list.
Very nice. Now, my little drum roll for my number one. Blink-182, Enema of the States. And this is Aliens Exist, just because it's so quirky and weird, and it's Tom DeLonge in a nutshell, because he really does believe in aliens. So yeah, I chose this one because, you know, there's always the classic, like, All the Small Things and What's My Age Again, and those are played way too much.
Yeah, those are the songs that I know, for sure. Because I'm not that big of a Blink-182 guy. I like their main, their singles. I like this song. Also a very good song.
Yeah, see, I have every single album of theirs on vinyl.
Yeah, so you and our new director for today, Scotty, big fans of Blink-182. Also, quick story, as we were driving here to the studio for our show today, you spent a good 35 minutes of the car ride trying to figure out which song from this album you wanted to play.
There's so many good ones on this album. Are you kidding me? It was so hard to choose.
So there you go. That's your number one, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I don't blame you on that one. Now, my number one is one that I think is going to catch you. It caught you and it caught Scotty by surprise, but I actually listened to this album again yesterday. I was like, damn it, it's good. And I didn't like it when it first came out, but I saw this band in concert a couple months ago, and I loved them in concert. Even though they are a punk band, I still really enjoy Green Day, and American Idiot is my favorite album from them, and is, of course, the lead track from that album.
Yes, everyone knows American Idiot. I mean, it's a giant political statement in a song itself, so, I'm not going to dive too much into the politics there. That could get a little sticky.
It came out during the Bush administration, so there you go. But, of course, like, Holiday is on here. Boulevard of Broken Dreams is on here. Wake Me Up When September Ends.
I was going to ask about
here.
that one. That one, wait until September starts. There's going to be Wake Me Up When September Ends memes everywhere.
Exactly.
Never ends.
So, yeah, there you go. That's our 3 albums we would take with us to Leon Yu. I think this would be a good opportunity for the Sporty Nation to give us their albums that they would like to have on a desert island.
Yes, of course, because I always love new music. So anything that you guys want to share with us, please let us know.
Yeah, so there you go. Well, I just want to let, if I had my run of the mill here, I would just let American Idiot play for the rest of the show. Just not even talk. Just let Green Day do the
Just sit and listen.
thing there.
And speaking of American Idiots, it's time for Richie's Dick of the Week.
That is right, Cori, American Idiot indeed, because for this week's Dick of the Week, my favorite segment of the show, we are keeping it on the ice and we're keeping it American. One Jeremy Roenick, whose number hangs in the rafters at Gila River Arena for the Arizona Coyotes. He said something on Twitter this week that caused quite a stir and caused me to get a little bit angry. So, let's go back to August the 14th when Jeremy Roenick tweeted out the following after Marshawn Lynch, who is now with the Raiders, sat during the national anthem, obviously, to continue the work of Colin Kaepernick, who protested anthems last year. He said, "Marshawn, you should have stayed retired." Yeah, shut your mouth, Jeremy. He then went on to tweet out another link to a story about James Harrison, which said, misquoted James Harrison as saying, "Anyone on my team who sits for the anthem, they better be in a wheelchair." To which Roenick said, "Now this is a man I want on my team. Too bad we have had to sit around and watch disrespectful athletes sit on coolers." He later deleted the James Harrison tweet, and here's the thing that got me angry. So Jeremy Roenick basically held up James Harrison as kind of a beacon for a teammate and for an athlete. And he isn't that, because James Harrison on multiple occasions has gotten in trouble with the law. He is not the greatest person on earth, and for Jeremy Roenick to tweet that out was completely awful and tone deaf, really. And on top of that, he did tweet out a completely incorrect story, so he can't even tell what's fact from fiction. So Jeremy Roenick, for being a complete douchebag and not understanding that Marshawn Lynch has his First Amendment right to sit down during the national anthem if he so pleases. You are my Dick of the Week, and that is going to wrap up this edition of Sporty with Cori and Richie Suave. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We'll talk to you again next week. Good night and good sports, everybody.